Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Geary, and I'm the editor of Inquiry, the Journal of the Virginia Community Colleges. In this video, the editorial board of Inquiry and I provide a call for papers and encourage you to submit to our journal. We'll tell you about Inquiry and offer you strategies for submitting your work. The Inquiry Editorial Board and I encourage you to visit our website, commons.vccs.edu/inquiry, to read recent publications and get a feel for our journal. Inquiry has been digital only for several years now, so if you want to submit to our journal, you're going to need to visit our website, create an account, and then upload your submission. Why should you publish to Inquiry? Your excellent ideas, practical strategies, research-based studies, and book reviews should be shared widely in our academic journal. You may have presented an idea recently at New Horizons or at an academic conference in your field. Consider converting that into an article submission for our journal. You should also consider publishing to Inquiry because it satisfies the scholarly and creative engagement criteria of our annual faculty evaluation and development plan, assuming you may be a faculty member. It is important for us to continue to be professionals in our fields and to share our pedagogical and theoretical findings. It helps model scholarship for our students, and it helps share innovations and findings with colleagues from across the state. Who reads Inquiry? Your scholarly work, notes and brief, or book review will reach VCCS faculty, staff, and administrators, as well as a worldwide audience of higher education professionals accessing content through the digital commons. By mid-August, we've had 30,600 plus total downloads and over 480 in the past week. We know that it can be daunting to work on a submission for publication. What we like to do here is share with you our inquiry aims and scope, editorial criteria used, and tips for submission and composition of your article. Inquiry publishes 3 different types of works: scholarly and conceptual papers and research-based studies. These are full-length manuscripts of about 4,000 to 5,000 words, inclusive of your references. These should make connections to practice and applications, and where appropriate, to future research and policy. We also publish notes and brief. If you're not quite ready for a larger scholarly or conceptual paper, you can publish a thought-provoking and scholarly short-length manuscript, about 1,000 to 2,000 words or 4 to 8 pages double-spaced, submitted with the goal of initiating conversations or development of practice among educators and staff within community colleges. We're also looking for book reviews. These may be 3 to 4 page book reviews or review essays of contemporary publications relevant to community colleges, higher education, or issues of teaching and learning that should focus on examining the major topics within our publication. If you have questions regarding our aims and scope or possible ideas for submission, reach out to me anytime at tgeary@tcc.edu. Now let's hear from an editorial board member about strategies for submitting to Inquiry.
I'm Bethany Arnold, and I'm on the editorial board for the Inquiry. One thing that I tend to look for whenever reviewing submissions for the Inquiry is pertinence to the VCCS. So whether that be an assignment that was particularly successful in your course that you've done a write-up on, a discussion of a VCCS initiative, or a book review that would be of use to anybody else in the system, we would really welcome your submissions. Please make sure too, if you do have existing research, that it does actually fit that parameter, that it is pertinent to us in the VCCS. Thank you.
Some of the inquiry editorial criteria used: we look for significance of the subject matter. Is this relevant, timely, or of value for the faculty or staff of the VCCS? Does the article appropriately or effectively highlight the significance and value of its topic? Is it appropriate for inquiry in its audience? Does it emphasize, support, clarify, or evaluate an issue that's of interest or relevance to those who teach or serve as administrators within the VCCS? Is it a clear presentation of your ideas? Do you have your information presented in a clear and effective manner? Does it appropriately convey its research findings and recommendations within a discussion that's accessible to a broad audience? Is it well structured? And the quality of writing. We look to see if it adheres to qualities of professional and academic writing, meaning that it's free of jargon and written appropriately for a higher education audience.
Looking at the issue or the topic from a holistic or comprehensive approach. So in other words, Have you thought about the counter argument to the research that you found, or what your personal views may be, or how you're sharing this information? Have you thought of possible alternatives that you could recommend to faculty, staff, and the readership that would help eliminate some of the challenges with the issue, or enhance some of what's going on in the program or the topic, whatever the case may be? But I look to see that you've really thought through this carefully, and sort of gone outside maybe the narrow scope of where you want it to go, to ensure that you have in fact left no stone unturned.
If you would like to submit to inquiry, you can visit our website at commons.vccs.edu/inquiry. Submissions are accepted on a rolling basis for inquiry. We often encourage revisions based on editorial feedback, so share your work with us soon to be considered for our next issue. Some tips for submitting to inquiry. Please consider your target audience. As we've already discussed in the editorial criteria used, you want to think about higher education professionals and those within the VCCS. You might read published articles in previous issues. This may give you a good sense of what kind of content has previously been appropriate for our journal and what may be appropriate going forward. Focus on practice and applications. It's great, of course, to have theoretical work, but we also want to see what does that look like in practice. So try to initiate a conversation with others within the state and in higher education in general. You can consult our style guide. This is posted on our website, and you can see what kind of regulations, restrictions, things we have in place as we look through articles. Be sure to cite research properly. Make sure you're citing in text as well as in your references. Add unique findings. The more you're able to add that engages your readers in a unique way, the more likely we're going to be moved to want to read it. And share your draft with colleagues for peer feedback.
As I review manuscripts, it is important to me that each article reflect the varied disciplines and research interests that evolve from community college settings. With this in mind, I look for topics that are of value not to higher education in general, but more specifically to the community college mission. It's important that inquiries publications demonstrate a strong ethos, which means I review submissions for strong, well-supported, well-written arguments. I also look for a sense of intellectual curiosity in the writer's voice that results in sharing knowledge and adding value to the community college academic setting. I encourage VCCS faculty, administrators, and staff to share their current research either as collaborative efforts or individual efforts. Many VCCS employees are pursuing advanced degrees and are involved in graduate programs producing valuable research, which I think would be wonderful to share with our VCCS colleagues.
As you are writing your essay, try to think about what the main points are you're trying to make in your piece of writing. What background information will your readers need? Are they novice readers or experienced readers? Then think about what order you want to present your ideas. Here's a general outline that we recommend for composing your work. If you have any questions about inquiry, about submitting to our journal, please get in touch with one of our editors. You may contact any of us or go to the website at commons.vccs.edu/inquiry. Thank you for watching this visual call for papers and for supporting inquiry. We look forward to reading your submission.